I'm Peyton Bullard, and I'm reading my Persuasive speech. Every year in the United States alone, 9 million chickens are raised for their flesh, and 305 million chickens are raised for their eggs. Their lives begin when they hatched along with thousands of other chicks inside of giant incubators. Only a few days after birth, they're crammed into shipping crates and sent to factory farms. In case you're wondering, factory farms is a form of intensive farming where animals are kept packed in tight cages. From the moment they are born, they are packed away in containers and are fed extensive amounts of food to the point where taking a couple steps is impossible. As soon as the animals are of age, they are slaughtered. Never have seen the light of day, have no idea what the sky looks like or what grass feels like. How would you feel to be locked away since birth, never been outside, only have been raised for slaughter? My aunt rescues chickens from factory farms. They are genetically modified over generations to feed humans, bred to have larger breasts and more meat for us to consume. Their bone structure for the chickens have been changed over time, causing mobility problems. Seeing these chickens my aunt rescues struggling to walk even after they are removed from factory farms is a real heartbreaker. Knowing nothing you can do will reverse the bone structure of the chickens. Factory farming is an ethical problem that needs to be acknowledged by more individuals. Saying this, I'd like to explain the problem of factory farming and scope the effects it has on the animals that are raised in this lifestyle and ways we can solve the problem. So what is factory farming to the full extent? Factory farms are large-scale industries that use intensive farming methods to harvest animal products and byproducts. They use unethical ways of housing, feeding, and treating the animals in these facilities. Factory farms are large-scale industrial operations that house thousands of animals raised for food, such as chickens, turkeys, cows, and pigs, and treats them with hormones and antibiotics to prevent disease and maximize their growth and food output. These animals are fed soy, wheat, corn, which are all heavily treated with pesticides, which can remain in their bodies and are passed down to people who eat them, creating serious health hazards in humans. According to ALJAZEER.com, written by Ryan Rifai on March 8, 2017, on average about 200,000 people die from the toxic exposure of pesticides per year across the world. The UN report published on January 24th, which is being presented to the UN Human Rights Council on Wednesday, said although pesticide use has been correlated with the rise in food production, it has had catastrophic impacts on human health and the environment. These animals are also overfed as farmers try to put fat on them, most to the point where they can no longer walk. Other animals are underfed, such as egg-laying hens, when farmers are trying to shock their bodies into molting. A lot of animals in factory farms are abused. According to DoSomething.com, the beaks of chickens, turkeys, and ducks are often removed in factory farms. As I said before, egg-laying hens are sometimes starved up to 14 days, exposed to changing light patterns and giving no water in order to shock their bodies into molting. It's common for 3% to 15% of hens to die during the forced molting process. While discussing the problems of factory farming, let's look into the statistics of animals put into this lifestyle. Recent numbers state the percent of animals that are put to factory farms. According to TwoSentenceInstitution.org, written by J.C. Reese on April 11th, 2019, by species, we estimate that 70.4% of cows, 98.3% of pigs, 99.8% of turkeys, and 98.2% of chickens are raised for eggs, and over 99.9% of chickens raised for meat are living in factory farms. That means over half of these animal species are raised in tight cages, abused, and not fed properly. Knowing these statistics and how many animals are put into poor conditions, I want to share with you how we can change this and make better living conditions. A solution to the problem would be to stop factory farming altogether, but as individuals that would be very difficult. According to CIWF.org UK, there are 4 steps us as individuals can take to help slow down factory farming. One way is to shop smart. By that, they mean to choose meat and dairy products from farms, not factories. Look for products with labels such as free range, pasture reared, or open door reared labels. Avoid meat with labels like farm fresh, country fresh, natural, or just corn fed. The second way is to shop locally. It makes sense to choose local meat and dairy. It may still This may still have been factory farms, so choose carefully, but it's often easier to find out what's going on with your food if it's produced closer to home than if it's part of a global system. The third way is to always eat your leftovers. Wasting meat and dairy is a simple and cost-effective way to kickstart a food revolution. Given the vast resources that go into producing these products, cutting waste is particularly important. Love your leftovers. Finally, avoid overeating. There is strong evidence that we consume too much meat and dairy, particularly in the developed world, and it's affecting our health. Avoiding the overeating of meat and dairy products is a win-win. It's good for our wallets, waistlines, and the world. Conclusion. Today, as I conclude, we dived into the world of factory farming and its harmfulness to animals and humans. Factory farming is an ethical problem that needs to be acknowledged by more individuals. I've explained to you about the problems of factory farming, scope the effects it has on the animals that are raised in this lifestyle, and ways we can solve the problem. Factory farming isn't just big companies' problems. It's yours too. Putting harmful chemicals into your body, letting these animals live a life of misery. Even small acts such as eating your leftovers can help. Every year in the United States alone, 9 billion chickens are raised for their flesh and 305 million chickens are raised for their eggs. Their lives begin when they hatch along with thousands of other chicks inside giant incubators. Only a few days after birth, they're crammed into shipping crates and sent off to factories. How would you feel if you were kept in a cage your whole life just to be slaughtered in the end? Wouldn't you want someone to fight for your justice?